Donald Trump damn near gave himself a heart attack earlier this week after he suddenly realized that his missile strikes on Iran could absolutely send the global price of oil, and of course gasoline by extension, skyrocketing, and it would all be his fault. Here's what happened for those of you who may not have been paying attention at the time. After Donald Trump struck Iran, one of the first things that Iran said they were going to do is close the Strait of Hormuz. And had they done that, which at least as of, this recording, they hadn't done, that basically would have halted about 20% of global oil supplies. Because 20% of oil on planet Earth that is going to market flows through the Strait of Hormuz. And Iran said, well, you know what? We'll just close it. And it caused the administration to freak out, forcing Marco Rubio to get on the phone with China, who is supposed to be our big enemy, right? We always hear about the Chinese Communist Party. Rubio, like a little boy who got in trouble with his mommy, had to call up China and beg them, don't tell Daddy. Please tell Iran not to close the Strait of Hormuz. After, this administration has spent every day demonizing China. The second we get in trouble, we go crying to them like, China, help us, save us. Oh, we messed up real bad. And they did mess up real bad. But that phone call from Rubio wasn't the only, outburst, I guess we'll call it, that this administration had. Because Donald Trump also got on Truth Social at the time and posted this in all caps. Everyone, keep oil prices down. I'm watching. You're playing right into the hands of the enemy. Don't do it. And then he put a separate post out after that that said, to the Department of Energy, drill, baby, drill. And I mean now. Yeah, that doesn't sound panicked at all. It doesn't sound like you're crapping your pants in fear over what you did. But here's what this story tells me. And I'm kind of annoyed that, the outlets didn't really report this. Trump didn't think anything through. This is a man that has no plan for anything in his life. Nothing. Certainly not with his presidential administration. He just does things without any forethought into what that thing could eventually do, right? Like, oh, I'm going to send missiles into Iran. I'm going to bomb a sovereign country, and that'll be fine. No, that's not how the world works. If you bomb somebody, there's going to be some kind of retaliation. A 5-year-old knows that. Cause and effect. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? There's lots of different scientific principles you could apply to this. But Donald Trump doesn't ever think about that. He is this impetuous freak with a very low IQ, to borrow his own phrase. And he's just incapable, I guess, of thinking about the consequences of his actions. And there's a reason for that. The reason he does not ever think about the consequences of his actions is because for most of his life, there have not been consequences for his actions. Hell, even right now, this man would be in jail but for the fact that he won the 2024 election. Had he not won, he would be in jail. And he probably at this point would have already gone through several other criminal trials as well, where he likely would have been found guilty and had years added on to his sentence. But because he won, he didn't face consequences. So that's why he freaked out about this deal. He knew, oh boy. It was projected, by the way, that if the Strait of Hormuz were to close, gas prices in the United States would rise to about $8 to $10 per gallon of gasoline. Trump knew those numbers too, but after the fact. And he freaked out because nothing hurts the public more than a sharp increase in gas prices, as we saw during the George W. Bush administration when gas went from 99 cents a gallon all the way up to over $4 per gallon, something that I think most of the public seems to have forgotten about, but it's always worth remembering. When you open this quagmire in the Middle East, Americans feel it in their pocketbooks, And there is no amount of posts on Truth Social you can make to stop that from happening. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.